So CoreWeave is getting a $2 billion capital infusion from Nvidia. What does this mean? So CoreWeave opened up a private placement, which basically means they are creating new shares to sell directly to Nvidia for around $87 a share, and that $2 billion Nvidia gives them goes straight to their balance sheet. Now, Jensen immediately went to defense against people who were saying, oh, this is a circular deal, they're going to use it to buy GPUs. And he said, no, they're going to buy transformers, and they're going to buy data centers and things like that. And it's like, yep, totally get that. But they only have so much money, so now they can use your money for the data centers and transformers, things like that. Where else they're going to use that money? And being money is fungible, that means they can probably go buy more GPUs. So anyways, he should just not even engage those conversations, because what Jensen is doing is he doesn't want to repeat other crypto crash where he was heavily dependent upon all of these wildcatter crypto miners that he had no control of who got the GPUs, who were just running their rigs to mine Bitcoin, and they all went tits up. And then before he knew it, his demand for his cards got crushed, and he was in an oversupply situation, and the stock got cut in half or whatnot. So for Act 2, now he's seeing with this AI boom, he wants to control demand. So how do you do that? You invest in companies that have the best prospects of surviving, that have best prospects of building a business that can generate some revenue in some form. I'm not saying CoreWeave is a good business. I think he has too much debt in his books, but whatever. And you invest in AI startups like OpenAI and Anthropic, and you make deals with everyone, and then you determine where your allocation goes, so that when that recession does hit, hopefully some of those companies will still be alive, going concerns, and they can still buy more GPUs, instead of having the catastrophe which happened during the Bitcoin crash, where all these random mom and pops went tits up, and then before you know it, you're in an oversupply scenario. Now, I've heard people say, well, you should be investing in fabs. No, he doesn't want to do that. Specifically as TSMC for that, and he's fine with TSMC bottleneck, because they take all the fab risk. And TSMC just recently agreed to put about $40-50 billion more into building more fabs and putting more supply out there. But TSMC has been caught in a situation of oversupply too, and does not want to relive that scenario. So they're taking things slow, because right now, when you're in the midst of a hype cycle, you always think it's going to be up and to the right forever, to the point where we're in such short demand for such short supply for GPUs that your grandmother builds her own fab in her house, she's making GPUs, and people stop eating, so the whole entire economy is going towards GPUs. That's not how it works out. There's either maybe an algorithmic improvement. It could be the situation we usually do is we satiate infrastructure demand, and we get to a situation of oversupply. There's all these things that can happen that eventually puts us into a glut, but that's a natural cycle of technology, and that's why tech gets better and cheaper. But then again, no one knows when it's going to happen. It looks like for at least the near term right now, all these AI labs need more and more GPUs, so Nvidia's in a good scenario. So anyways, let me know what you think about this overall. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Talk to you later. Peace.